Okay, so here I am sitting on the steps of White's. Now, White's is a really famous club. I'm slightly worried a man in a top hat with gold braid and livery is going to come and kick me away in a minute. White's was set up 300 years ago by an Italian called Francesco Bianca, which is obviously white in Italian. It's always been known as a place for the Tories and the aristocracy to come and let their hair down. It was where Charles Windsor, our current king, had his stag do the night before he married Princess Diana back in 1981. It was once the haunt of a famous gambler called Lord Averley. Now, Lord Averley loved laying bets so much that they had a book in here of all of his wagers, and it's still there. Now, he was a Georgian lord. He once had a bet with someone, a fellow member. He put £3,000 on which raindrop would reach the bottom of the window first. He also bet someone £1,000 that he could stay underwater for 12 hours and not die. But when he woke up in the morning, he'd obviously, with a bit of a hangover, he regretted what he'd bet, and he said, I didn't say me, I said someone. So the lord who he'd made this wager against said, well, you've got to cough up or prove it. So he paid one of his servants to go underwater, and sadly that servant drowned. So he lost one of his domestics and a grand lighter as well. Not the best day's work, poor old Lord Averley. St James's Street used to be the preserve of rich people. They used to have aristocrats living here, MPs, because it was quite easy to get to Whitehall. Nowadays, it's really the preserve just of well-heeled clubs and hedge fund managers. The offices above, The Economist magazine reckons there's more money managed in this street alone than all of Frankfurt, which sounds like quite a lot. Now, the steps I'm standing on, this was the scene of a bit of a punch-up between Aneurin Bevan, the Labour minister, and a bloke called John Fox Strangeways. Now, Bevan had been brought to this club, which, as I say, was really the haunt of the Tory party, the last place you would find the founder of the NHS to sup and dine. But he'd been taken here by a man called John Slosser. So John Slosser had worked with Bevan in the wartime government, had worked with him in the RAF and helped source parts for Spitfires and Lancaster bombers, and they got on really well. Now, Bevan was notorious for not liking Tories very much, and he once made a speech where he likened Tories to rats, essentially. He said, talking about life in the 1930s, he said, no amount of cajolery can eradicate from my heart a deep, burning hatred for the Tory party that inflicted those bitter experiences on me. So far as I am concerned, they are lower than vermin. So Bevan had said that, and it had been reported widely. So he wasn't very popular with the Tories. So here he is, in a club that is known as the place for the Tory party to let their hair down and relax. Bevan's appearance at White's was deemed to be so offensive by Tories that Tories came out of other clubs. Word got round and other Tories came out from clubs around the area. Bevan, this socialist firebrand, was drinking champagne and eating lobster, maybe munching on a pheasant at a place he shouldn't be. There was a chap called John Fox Strangeways who was so annoyed that Bevan had shown up at White's. He put his glass of champagne down from Brooks, which is just over the road, and wandered up here to have it out with him. He dragged Bevan out of the dining hall and stood on those steps and landed, bang, a wallop of a haymaker on our poor politician's nose. Bevan wasn't to be messed with. He was, he had a temper. He was, you could call him a mild-mannered man, but I reckon if you punch him in the street, he was going to retaliate. Anyway, Bevan totally held his cool and said, no, not retaliating. Refused to press charges, said, well, I was on their patch, I should have known this was going to happen. It's quite funny because a bloke called Tudor Jenkins, who was an editor at the Evening Standard, witnessed it all. So it was all in all the gossip sheets the next day. Bevan clocked one, bang, by this bloke, didn't fight back. Sir John, on the other hand, did fight back. Sir John was so infuriated, he got Fox Strangeways banned for life. So poor old Fox Strangeways lost the opportunity to hobnob with his Tory mates by not being able to control himself when he saw Bevan emerging from his St James's Place club. So that is White's.